Hello everyone, my name is Lisa Kester and I'm with the Wild Acorns Art Studio, and this is my channel here from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm in my home studio tonight. Oh, excuse me. All of a sudden I got a frog in my throat. So you saw me do a hand build of this a couple weeks ago, I guess it was. But so, I don't know if you saw, so I ended up cutting a hole in the bottom. And so I did end up pulling out the newspaper that was inside there. And so today, we are going to glaze it. So I've got I've got different kinds. I've got this one I hand built. This is, I'll call my windowsill pumpkin or mantle pumpkin because you can set it on your windowsill or your mantle because it's narrow. And then I threw this one here. Whoops. Stuff's falling out the bottom of it. Yikes, it landed right in my underglazes. I threw this one on the wheel. So I've got I'd say about 4 of these, different sizes, some bigger ones and a little bit smaller ones that are in the kiln now. So I'll show you those. And then I have about a dozen of my little pinch pot ones. And then I have about, I think, 3 of these in the kiln. So anyway, so I will share those too. But those I just did Western's Rusty Orange Art. I'll show you those. That's a real cool glaze for pumpkins because where it's thick, it's greenish. Where it's thin, it's more of a rusty orange. And so it's really perfect for pumpkins. But it's not real bright orange like some people like, but that's one of my favorite glazes. So I've got several of those in the kiln, so I'll show you that. But anyway, so this one, I'm going to do a couple of them in underglazes. And I don't like to do a lot of them in underglazes because the orange underglaze is one that's almost $60 a pint. So it would make these pumpkins would make them very expensive. But anyway, I'm going to do this one in it. I'll lower you down. See if I got to move my pumpkin. It's a good thing I have long arms, right? Because this thing is so far away. There we go. I'm so high tech. I hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, it's dark behind me now. The video I made earlier, which I'm hoping to get these uploaded to YouTube, but I did a half-hour video of a little bowl that I did, and my gosh, it's taking like 3 hours to upload a 30-minute video. So I don't know. I don't know why our internet is so bad, but okay. So let's see. I might have to move this up just a little bit so you can see it. As you can tell, though, there we go. I'm using my Amico Velvet underglazes for this, and not my Kiwi underglazes. And really the only reason is because I have the orange, but I've made a couple custom color oranges that I did actually last year, and I haven't used them, so I thought, well, I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. So I thought I may as well use them. So so I have a bright orange. This is you can buy this just like this. This one I think I mixed this one with white, and then this one I mixed a bunch of different colors. I've been so long ago since I mixed that orange. I don't even remember that well what I used. But so when I'm glazing these, I start with, I guess, the lowest part or the largest part, because I want to go from the bottom layer to the top layer, because I'm going to get everything, all this dark underneath the main color, all underneath these leaves and stuff. And then wherever I actually get it on a leaf, I can wipe it off a little bit, or I can just glaze right over it, because these underglazes usually don't bleed through. I'm really liking how this orange is going on, but I know it's going to fire pretty much brighter. And I'm thinking about using a different brush, but I might. I think I'm going to stick that one in there. I've got a water bottle here that I can add a little bit of water to those and water them down a little bit. So I'm gonna switch to a fatter brush. Sometimes, when you fire underglazes, and you get the streaks, it's because you've used a narrow brush, and then, if you go back over it and you don't have exactly 3 or 4 coats on the whole surface, then, some of them burn out and you end up with streaks. And that's fine if that's what look you're going for, but we're not always going for that look, are we? I went outside before with our dog Charlie, and boy, it got cold. Oh, we yesterday was 82. I think today is a high of like 70 something. And so I figured yesterday was probably our last day of summer-like weather. We were down on the Ohio River, up and down the Ohio River on my brother's boat. We took a boat ride. So that was really nice. Hopefully next year we'll have a boat that's more accommodating to the river. We just have a little pontoon boat right now, and it's not really suited that well for the river. But we have there's so many barges on our Ohio River down here. Not as many east of Cincinnati, it seems like, but west of Cincinnati, I don't know. I guess the Ohio River has always been a river town, but there are just barges lining the shore. We had the tall stacks. Well, that's what we call them, I guess. But the steamboats here last weekend. That was this is 2025. In case you're watching this in the I don't know, somewhere in the future. Which I guess these will be around for a while. I don't know. But yeah. So I always have some people, will comment on a video that I did like 10 years ago, wanting to see a different photo of one of the things that I painted, and I have to reply that, gosh, these pieces are long gone. So you can tell my hair is really short. Oh, yeah, my hair's really short back then. So I did grow it out a little bit, and I do like it a little bit longer than what I had it at. I'm always cutting my hair. Of course, now I don't cut my own hair anymore, but I used to always cut and color my own hair. Then I knew how it would turn out. So I'm not going to worry about how many coats I have on this. I have exactly 3 coats everywhere. What I'm mainly looking at is the uniformity of the color. I mean, it's a pumpkin, so I did a few of these last year, which I may have a video on this too. I've got so many videos now. I can't remember what I did a video on all of them. But it might have not been last year. It might have been several years ago that I painted some pumpkins just like this with underglazes, and that was back in the day when I did the Weber's Pumpkin Festival. Okay, so I'm going to rinse out that brush. And it's like I said, it's it's hard to say how these are going to actually turn out, right? Because I mean, you just never know, because some shades are going to burn out. That's just the way it is. So I'm trying to right now is think about shadows. So I'm trying to just get some of this darker in place. I'm not worrying too much about it getting on the leaves and things like that, because I'm gonna go back over that anyway. I'm hoping my phone doesn't die. I got it plugged in, so it should be okay. But I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to upload that other video I did for that little bowl I did. And it just takes forever. This will end up probably having 6 coats of underglaze in some places. But I'm hoping to get these done so I can get them to this little shop that opened up close to me. I am going to be in a show at our country club up the street, but I'm not a member there. I don't make that much money teaching pottery. But it's been around for so long. I know people who belong there. So, yeah, I'm in their Christmas show. So I won't be taking pumpkins, but I am going to take some of my red birds. I just wiped a little too hard here, so I'm just going to add a little more glaze. If you wait between coats, it won't wipe off as easy, obviously, but and remember, they're pumpkins. These are not meant to be perfect. I just love opening a kiln and seeing what everybody's pieces look like because I teach 3 days a week at our local rec center, and it's I just never gets old opening up the glaze kiln and seeing everybody's stuff turned out. One of my favorite parts of teaching is seeing everybody's doing. Now this part, now this one here, like I said, I don't really know. Gosh, I don't really remember who makes that. I'm pretty sure that is. I only buy Amico Velvets and then the Kiwi, so it's either Amico Velvet or the Kiwi, and I know it's not Kiwi, so I don't think I have any Mako here. I did buy some Mako for our classroom. They're just a little bit more. They're less expensive. I mean, they're good. They're still good glazes, but they're just a little bit more reasonably priced. I'm not a fan. Well, I mean, I know I believe they changed their. Well, I don't know if they changed their formula. I know Speedball changed their formula, but for a while there, they were sticking to the kiln shop if you painted the bottom, and so I like to paint the bottoms of my pots and stuff sometimes, so that's why I kind of shied away from them. I want this to be a little bit drier. Let's see here. I really want a lot of colors in here. I don't want it to be you know, that's the one of the problems with underglaze is that the colors, when you paint them, they can fall flat. At least that's my feeling. So you really have to add a lot of color, I think. A lot of layers, just like you would, you know, if you're painting with acrylics. So that's what that looks like now. One of my lights went out, so I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, there we go. See if we can see better. There we go. See all the different colors? So let's do this side. I was trying to make a video earlier today and I got so sidetracked with other stuff that took me forever to actually get started. And the one video I did of I think it was the little flower in the bowl. As soon as I started the video, Millie, our cat, decides to walk up and say hi. It's always the way. I've got cat treats that I usually give her while I'm working here, so that's probably my fault. There we go. I wish you could really see all these colors coming through. I don't know how well, you know, I use my phone as my camera, and I'm not sure how well they actually show up. But gosh, if this, I really hope this fires. Well, I know it won't. I don't know why I would say that, but I wish it would fire exactly how I'm painting it. But I know that it won't be exactly like that. Well, here comes the rain again. We need the rain, though. It's been so dry here. We haven't had rain in like 10 days. And gosh, my flowers are all dead. Everything's dying. Okay, so I'm going to try to touch up the bottom here. I really didn't use much glaze, so, but still, the orange, as you know, is pretty expensive. I may take a a sponge and sponge off some of that bottom. You got to be careful when you're painting on the bottom. If you get like 3 layers, it can stick to the kiln shelf. And oh, there goes Molly. Hi, Molly girl. They kept stealing water out of I have a big 1-gallon bucket here of water, and they used to just constantly drink out of that. And I was worried about them drinking out of a bucket that's got, paint residue and clay residue. And so I finally just went and got them their own bucket. Okay, so now we're going to do the leaves. And I've got a tray here, and I'll probably... Oh, the cats are fighting. Molly is mad because Millie is sleeping in her box. Molly likes to sleep in an old clay box. And so that's Molly's bed, but Millie is sitting in there, and she's not happy that Millie's in her box. Millie has a basket, which is a bigger box, a bigger basket, so she's got a bigger bed. Let's see here. I think I'm going to just put. I definitely don't want that dark green. Thinking about whether I should mix some or... It's nice to get the dark green down in the crevices. And let's see. What I'm thinking in my mind is how I'm going to differentiate this and the stem, because stems are still pretty green when the pumpkins are picked. But I think I'm going to just add a lot more brown to the stem to kind of differentiate a little bit more. So I think what I'll first do is put this dark green color on the leaf. I added a little too much water to that, I think. I don't know if I added water to this. Remember, their greens were always really runny. I did buy my favorite color of green with Amico Velvet is avocado. But the last couple of jars I got were so runny when I got them that I wasn't going to buy anymore. So then I got this forest green one, which I've been kind of adding stuff to, other colors to because I really not a fan of the forest green. I mean, unless you're doing a Christmas tree, but this isn't a Christmas tree. I'm usually not too big on making seasonal stuff because, well, like Christmas trees is good for 4 weeks. Christmas, that's it. If you don't sell it all, then you're stuck with them. pumpkins, if you notice, I do not put faces on my pumpkins because if you do, then they're only good for Halloween. But if you don't put the faces on there, then they're also good for Thanksgiving. This would look really pretty, you know, on a Thanksgiving table. I've had so much allergies with the with having no rain. There's been so much dust. So it'd be good now that we've got some rain here today. It'll settle all the dust. Okay. So I'm just trying to go through and do some of these sides. It's so easy to miss stuff that's underneath. And then, okay, so I got the dark green on the bottom layer, I should say. So I've got this this was actually light green. I think they were out of chartreuse. This is light green. And then I added, I think, a little bit of yellow to it to make it a little bit more chartreuse. And I'm going to actually add a little bit of orange or maybe a little bit of white too. To the tips of the flower. The flower. I'm so used to doing flowers. The leaves. These are leaves, Lisa, leaves. So there's the leaf. And I'm going to dry my paintbrush off here a little bit. It's easier to blend the colors if it's wow, shoot, somehow I accidentally got green in my yellow. Ugh. I'll dig it out later. I'm still trying to, I don't know. It looked a little splotchy, so. I think that's good. And then I'm going to add a touch of orange to it because these are fall leaves. And when you're doing underglazes, if you don't put a couple coats on, then it can burn out. So, it's hard to say how many of these layers will stay and how many will burn out. Since there's only a couple layers of the orange on there and the white, then those would be the first colors to go. I will put 2 coats of a zinc-free clear on here when I'm done. Sometimes I dip my glazes, but I don't know, unless you're dipping just a bowl or something, by the time you clean off the runs in the bottom, and I don't know, sometimes it seems like you spend more time cleaning it up than it would have been just to brush on the colors. So I don't know, sometimes it's easy just to brush them on. Okay, let's do this one. There's that one. And now let's do this one. So I got the green layer down, and then this one here is a little bit like a light green. I do love all the colors that you can get when you're putting on underglaze instead of just a, you know, a plain orange color or something. Um, just, yeah, I just love all the different colors you can do when you're doing underglazes. Okay, now let's do the stem. And I think I'm going to get my bigger brush. Well, I think I'm going to do the little curlicues first. And they're pretty brown, so I think my brown is a mess. I don't have much left. I ran out of brown, so then I made my own brown, like black and red and purple. I don't know, I added a whole bunch of colors till I got the brown I wanted. And so I should have bought some more. You hate buying, spending money on brown. I don't know why. I don't know why. You always just think you're going to spend money on glazes. You want to pick the pretty colors. It's hard to paint this upside down. The one thing really nice about underglazes too is that they don't run. When you get it out of the kiln, it won't have run all over the kiln. That's one of the downsides of dipping too, because if you dip it too long, then it can run all over the kiln. Especially some colors are more runners than other colors. The Western Rusty Orange that I use is really a runner. You gotta be so careful. So I'm really nervous to open the kiln and praying that my pumpkins didn't run all over. Because if you want the green color, you got to put, like 3 coats on to get the green. But the orange, that's easy because that's just a real thin coat. But so, it's risky adding multiple layers of a color. I don't know how some of these people add, you see all these neat colors some people get. My nose is itching. And they put layers and layers, like 6 layers. I don't know how they do not run in their kilns. Almost every glaze we have, if you put over 4, there's a good chance it's going to run. And I think part of that is probably because I do a 20-minute hold. But we were having a lot of issues with pits. Now I can't think what. Pinholes. There we go. Trying to think and paint at the same time. We're having a lot of problems with pinholes, and so by adding a 20-minute hold onto your kiln, it really slows down that top temperature, and it allows, if there's any organic gases still coming out of the clay that were left in there from the bisque fire, it allows that pinhole to heal over before the top temperature falls. So that's why it's always good to add a hold at the top temperature. Some people, I think, drop the temperature 100 degrees and do one, but I just do a hold at the top temp. And we've pretty much gotten rid of all pinholes. The pinhole problem. Every once in a while, somebody will have some pinholes and stuff, but it's usually because it's usually on the dark brown clay. We call it dark clay. like the 266. It's usually on something like that because the dark clays get hotter than the white clay or the tan clay. So it can do some funky things to glazes. They're the dark clay is not, the dark brown clay is not always happy with all the glazes. And the dark brown clay shouldn't be fired over cone 5, which is about 2167. You can probably go to about 5.5, cone 5.5, maybe 2200 or less. The dark clay it'll bloat. It likes to bloat in the kiln, which means it has a big air bubble in the clay, which is not good. We don't even buy the 266 anymore. For us, I don't know why, but it doubled in price. So probably the manganese in it is my guess. Not 100% sure, but that would be my guess. Maybe something to do with tariffs or something. I don't know. Okay. Maybe didn't. I had to try to add a little bit of brown on here, but can't say that it turned out all that great. I just want to try to add a lot of color, a lot of texture. Okay, so I'm going to add the brown here. I feel like getting out of the frame. Can you still see what I'm doing? I can't stand up and glaze like some people. It hurts my back too much. See, like this here, a lot of this I know a lot of that'll burn out. Okay, I'm going to dab this up here. So I'm dipping my dipping my brush, I should say, in water to thin this underglaze out so it gets in all the little grooves. I'm going to lay this down here. If you guys have any questions, you can always comment. Leave a comment and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. If for some reason I don't see your comment, or I don't respond to your comments, probably because I didn't see it. Because, I don't know, sometimes YouTube does funny things. It's kind of like Facebook sometimes, where sometimes you see things right away and sometimes you don't. There you go. I hope I didn't add too much brown here. Take a little bit of that off. Like I said, it should probably just burn out. But you know, you never know. With my luck, it won't. And whenever you're in a hurry to, you know, get something done for a show or a time of season, that's when things fail. Last year, when I was I was making these really big bowls for the country club show. Most of them, I think 3 out of the 5 blew up in the kiln because I was not patient. And I put them in there too wet. So I got a little too much green in there. There we go. And a touch of white. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to do the other side. Oh, looking pretty, isn't it? This does look like, I don't know. I'm dipping my finger in water and just blending that a little bit better. We'll see. I may take off. Like I said, be my luck, it won't burn out. There we go. I think that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna do this side. Try to do it so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to even out the bottom here a little bit. I like the bottoms to look good too, not too rough. I just thought I saw a spider on my table. I hope not. We've been seeing a lot of spiders. I guess they're all trying to come in for the winter. This looked a little too funky to me. I mean, just a little bit. I want orange, obviously, to be the primary color here, so I don't know if you can really add too many. Well, you can add too many colors of underglaze, but if they're thin, I don't think it'll matter. Okay, let's finish the green here. I don't know when I'll get this uploaded. As long as it's taken, it won't be till tomorrow, Monday, I'm sure. Okay, let's add a little bit of white. We're almost done. Let's see, do I have the top done? It's hard to see. See if I got the very top done. There we go. Okay. Then a touch of, just a trace of white there. Kind of blend it in. Yeah, stop, Lisa, stop. Don't mess it up. You know, sometimes you just get carried away. Okay, I'm going to take another look. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'll hold it up for you guys to see. Wait a minute, what did I do? I think I'm... There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. So that is one side. Oh, here's the other side. I might... Oh, we'll see. Okay. I'll do it up close so you can kind of see the colors. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you like my videos, please hit share and please subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.